guest for the series is Dame Emma Jane Brown. Emma, how you doing today?
I'm good. Very good.
Great. Well, it's great to have you on the show. As me and Emma were discussing earlier, she's based out of London, England, and a really fantastic, story that I've collected already about her. Really excited to have her on the show for this extended series, and without further ado, why don't we find out a little bit about yourself and your background?
Okay. Well, I was a former international show jumper probably 20 years ago, but obviously when I was a little girl, my parents were quite sort of wanting me to go to a local riding school, and that's really where I got the love of being with ponies, and really it became a bug, and I just didn't want to ever leave the stable. And from being with ponies day and night, it sort of was a sign to my parents that obviously was maybe a career or a sport maybe that I was going to, hopefully continue on to do. So they were very strict. And of course, when you do progress with riding, you're very committed. It's a tough thing to do. It's not just, looking after a little dog or your cat. You have to be 24/7 with your pony. So,
Sure.
It's a lot of responsibility. But it taught me a lot of things growing up, to have a lot of trust with an animal, because, the animal doesn't speak. So it's literally you have to find out points that the animal is happy with you and you're happy with the animal. So it's a great learning curve, but it's a wonderful, wonderful sport to be involved in. It's like anything, in the best way of looking at it, it made me be who I am today. It helped me along my path to do what I do now, and, has really been a great guide for me. But my parents were very, very supportive, and it worked for them that I, at weekends, was, always away or competing, and they stuck by me through everything. Really their life was very, very committed by my career, because every weekend without fail I was at a show competing. So it was a full-on family, sort of relationship that we needed to keep me in the sport. Yeah, and a really bad ordeal happened to me. I was going to go to the Seoul Olympics and obviously represent my country, and my horse, died of colic about 12, 14 weeks before, and so my Olympic chance was gone, finished, literally. So that took a huge time to get over. But, as you say, it's something that you have to put up with, and it's something that does happen. It's just life, isn't it? It's what happens.
Right. You must have been. How old were you when this occurred?
I was like early 20s. So for me, I had worked incredibly hard to get to that level. I'd had a lot of other countries wanting to buy my horse, because they would want that horse, to represent their country for the Olympics. And it was tough, because, I was really probably, especially in the British team, I can't say a definite cert, because you never know until on the day, but I was certainly right up there for, on the short list to say there is a good chance that, Emma would get a medal. So, and that was my main aim in my career, was to get to the Olympics and hopefully win a medal. So it's everybody's dream, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, Emma, now, before we get into, the whole, and I got to say, amazing story, because you really do have a very intriguing story that you shared with us last episode. I just want to reiterate the company that you have, and again, doing some really cool things, is EJB Events. So, briefly, Emma, why don't you share with us the idea behind EJB Events, because I know that's what really we're trying to get out to the people.
Yeah, EJB Events is a bespoke concierge company, and it was built up by me sort of 3-4 years ago, when I decided to take on the challenge to get involved in an events company. So for 18 months I went out and became like a mystery shopper, and I went and checked out hotels and different venues and how things will run, and sort of, got that sorted, and then from there started, putting on events. So I think really the concept of EJB Event Service was probably based around the knowledge of the life of being in a sports personality, which was what I used to do as a former international show jumper for over 20 years. And because of being away for long periods away from my home and also my family, I think it sort of gave me little time to organise anything outside my sport. And so that's sort of where I got the idea from originally, to, additionally put my personal concierge service, which can take sort of care of details of people's lives and, try to offer clients experiences that will always exceed their expectations. The main source of what we do is we organise red carpet hospitality, which allows guests to get up close and personal with Hollywood A-listers such as Sylvester Stallone, Al Pacino, Arnie Schwarzenegger, and recently the wonderful rock and roll legend Jerry Lee Lewis. And this is really like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So this can sort of include a limo service to the show. You get the best seats in the house. You get an invite to the champagne reception. And, of course, you get the chance to meet the stars themselves.
Yeah. So really, when you hear from people, I mean, are they asking for specific celebrities, or, is it just kind of you putting that together and then it's almost a surprise?
Yeah, it's sometimes a surprise for them, but we like to sort of do, an assortment of things. We want to give them unforgettable trips to the world's most exclusive hotels and destinations, and invite them to international fashion shows and excursions to the most prestigious events on the sporting calendar. So it's, dining with celebrities and all different sort of amazing experiences that people can't normally get.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the different events, have you worked? Have you been able to put together trips to, say, different sporting events like tennis or soccer or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, we do. We never forget the men. Obviously, we do both, men and women. So I like to lay on shooting and racing days and fishing trips, and like yacht charters in different places around the world, golf courses. But we just done recently a wonderful thing. We did a corporate shoot for 8 clients with Peter Wilson, who is the Team GB gold medalist. So you get a day experience actually with a gold medalist, and you get, taught by him. You actually get his gun that he used to win that gold medal, which is, something very, very special. And you get, expertise, training and everything, lunch, and it's literally for beginners upwards. So it's a wonderful experience to go and do that in an amazing countryside, up in the Midlands, which is sort of from London about 2 hours. So you get the glory of seeing our countryside, but also shooting with an Olympic gold medalist.
Very cool. And so Emma, now before we get any further into EJB events, now I know you mentioned your background.
So, I have to sort of, my passion is still there and it will never ever stop, but I have to sort of be careful of how much time I do spend with the horses at certain events, because I'm now a mentor for the first blind show jumper in Great Britain, which I'm very proud to be involved, and that's sort of where I've lost my time with competing.
Right.
My passion now is put into helping the blind show jumper, and also I now mentor some other para riders as well, which that sort of helps me.
Absolutely.
Recovering from knowing that I can't compete myself. So that's my therapy really for me. When you're putting on a service that I offer, which is a personal concierge service, which is really hands-on from me from start to finish, it has to tick all the boxes. So,
Sure.
this is very, very important for me to be like an events organizer extraordinaire in a way. And that sort of went from sort of stages then of getting people to trust me, and then sort of getting involved with red carpet functions with Hollywood A-listers and organising, some of the most spectacular holidays. And that's where it's grown, really. And,
very exciting.
It's very good. It's very good as well for me in a way. Obviously, it's hard work like everybody does. And if you don't put the work in, you don't get the, the best things back. But I think it's something different, and I'm there to find the different hidden gems. I'm always there looking for new ideas, and it's sort of moving on rapidly now, because it's something that everybody wants for a special service. They want to be looked after. They don't want to be going out and having a problem with whatever, because everybody is paying for something, whatever it is, and you don't want to be taking your space of entertainment or where you want to just go and relax, and you're not happy with it.
What is it also that you look to do to set yourself apart from others in event planning?
Well, as you say, it's a hands-on thing that I offer, which a lot of companies don't. They sort of organise your tickets to go to this event, and you arrive, and you're not quite sure where to park, and then you don't know where to go. So we are completely there for you to make sure that as soon as you leave your home, whether it's with us in an organised car for you, a chauffeur, that you go, feeling relaxed, and you don't have to worry about things. I mean, it's sort of, I become this sort of organizer come butler come, service with whatever you need, because that's what people need, isn't it? And I think that's what makes a difference to how other companies are in corporate companies. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, but when I'm giving and saying personal services here, that's exactly what we do.
But another cool thing that I know that I had read about some of the stuff that you've done was a certain protective gear that you've actually designed for show jumping and equestrians.
That's correct, yeah. It's a new range of clothing, and it's called Revo, which is short for revolution in riding. So I sort of worked alongside a neurosurgeon and looked into protective clothing, which is sort of designed to mould around children's body according to their body temperature, and it sort of gives an extra padding and protection without being bulky. So I've done, spent a lot of time designing garments that are made sort of out of materials like denim and making them fashionable and versatile, but also wearable for other sporting activities as well, because not everybody wants to ride. Not everybody, unfortunately, I don't agree on that, because I want everybody in the world to ride. But, of course, a lot of people want to be on their bikes and go to the park and go on climbing frames and things like that. So it's just a new concept of funky clothes, but it can be used riding, and it can also be used, for realistically, it's action clothes for action kids, because we know that kids always want action, don't they? So that's been my sort of pastime, and knowing the knowledge of what I know for riding and about the great outdoors. And, it's interesting, very interesting.
And so how long has the gear been available to the general public, and where can they get it?
It's actually, we've got some temporary pieces at the moment, which are obviously being trialled out on young riders and kids and stuff. So in the new year, we will have it already, and it will then be up on the website. So probably after a few more programs of talking to you, I'll be able to give you a bit more information on it. But
now, I got to ask, Emma, what is it about working with people that have these challenges to face? What is it about it that draws you towards that?
I think one of the most things is that they are such humble people, and they are such an inspiration. And that's really where my passion has gone now, because even with the lady Karen Law, who is blind, she never moans. I mean, she travels for her 1 hour lesson. She travels on her own with obviously her her stick, on 2 trains, on a bus and a taxi, which is a 5-hour round trip, and it's just a 1 hour lesson. And she is just, there's no mention to me on the phone, oh Emma, I can't be bothered, or she lives and dreams for this lesson that she gets. So we're now trying to organise a volunteer near where she lives that could possibly just, drive her to the destination, to the stables, and then, wait for her to have a lesson and then go back, because, that's a tough thing for able people, let alone a disabled person that can't see. So when she rings me every week, which she does, and she tells me, how the lesson has gone and how the horse is, it's just everything of my mind that's crazy busy and, feeling a little bit down because this hasn't worked, or, this day hasn't gone how it should. She instantly clears that completely.